Virtual Madness Corporate 1 Minute Challenge. And before we get on, I would be remiss to not say and give my apology for a little snafu as we have tried to go live. It makes me think about the time when I was learning to do competitive kayak racing. And the boats that we're in are very narrow, and the balance of that boat is what's tricky. And when anyone's starting, you go into the water more than you're on top of the water until you finally get the knack of it. So I apologize, but we are enduring and we're going to keep going through it. And we are now pre-recording these last two sessions so that it makes it a little bit easier. But we are thrilled to be a part of Virtual Madness. We have some really amazing videos coming up, and I'd like to introduce our folks on the set who are with me. We have our awesome Mary Christie, who is our CFO, and we have our amazing James Glenn, who is with us tonight and will be sharing some of the history and fun with us tonight. So, James, what do you think so far?
I'm thrilled to be here, Ashley and Mary. Welcome to Corporate Night, everybody, as we support the fantastic mission that is Bridge to Sports. We want to thank our big sponsor, who is MetLife, along with Van Products and Atlantic Coast Medical Equipment Service Association. Want to get you some details right now. Text to HoopsAreHoops. Send that to 76278, or visit hoopsareHoops.givesmart.com. We have an ambitious goal, but we know that you can help us get there. We're trying to raise $100,000 to keep these programs going and to keep these young people active and doing what they need to do. So please help us get there. So, Ashley, why are we here?
Well, we are here for exactly what you said, to support the mission. COVID has impacted everybody, and it certainly has impacted us as well. And so we have lost quite a bit of funding second and third quarter, and we need to make up that difference. So in order to keep our programs going, to change lives for people with disabilities through sport, we need your help. So I want to, since this is corporate night, we have a selection of films that kind of show a progress of what sport does for youth who have disability. And we're going to start with Miles Hill, and I have affectionately called this one the Hillmen, because you'll see 4 gentlemen in this video sharing some truths about disability. So let's listen to what Miles has to say.
What we have to do, sometimes in life it's not about what you want to do, or it's not even, sometimes it's not even about your happiness. At the end of the day, sometimes you got to make it happen.
Well, my name is Timothy Hill. I have twin boys. The oldest would be Miles, and his twin brother is Martin, and born on the same day, 1 minute apart. And then there's Marcus. They're my pride and joy. I love them all. Before we ever made it to Bridge to Sports, I would hear things in the house like, "No, you treat me the way you treat them. Don't pass. Don't just hand it to me. Pass it to me like you do them." And that would be Miles trying to get the other kids in the neighborhood. Don't treat me different. Don't hand it off to me, because if he was going to play, then he's going to play like everybody else. I remember the neighbor on more than one occasion. She was very concerned because she felt like they were being rough on him, but he wasn't going to have it any other way.
What really brought me into success is what I was saying earlier, is having some self-respect. And I feel like, if I hadn't found Bridge of Sports, and maybe an alternate universe, Bridge of Sports isn't it, but something that I love, and I could really put pride behind it, without that, there is no successful Miles.
Wheelchair basketball is basketball. We have to take the strengths and weaknesses of that team to make them better, to make them successful. It doesn't change when you get in a wheelchair.
That we were able to be there, and that he was able to finally find something, because we would play basketball outside, but he definitely beat me sometimes. I'm not gonna sit here and say he didn't. I'll give him that, but he didn't win often, or it would be you could tell that the game wasn't made. It's an able-bodied sport, you know what I mean? And for him to find something that not only that he could do, but that I could do with him and help him get better at it, I really appreciate that. I enjoyed that. I do. I do think to this point, Bridges Sports is one of the better things that has come across our lives.
The fact, that I was able to find something that I'm prideful in is really, it takes the comparison away. It makes you feel like you are who you are. You're a human being. But when you continue to compare, if everything in your life is always about, oh, I can't jump as high as he can, I can't run as high as he can, I can't run as fast as he can, I can't even climb the stairs the same way that they can, when you're always in comparison, it really changes your output on life and what you think you can do. And when I really found something of my own, when I realized that at the end of the day, you gotta put your best foot forward, and then also to be happy, when I realized all those two things and kind of put it all together, it was just continue to play with your basketball because it makes you happy. Continue to do good in school because you deserve to do better. And at the end of the day, you respect yourself because you are worth it.
Story. He is such an inspiration. My favorite part of that video is the end, where it takes you from all of the pictures of where he started, and he came in, he didn't have a lot of confidence, but now he's the man. Yeah. And he's at Illinois, and what an inspiration to able-bodied anybody who wants to play basketball or sports. I just love that. Another reminder, text HoopsAreHoops to 76278 or visit HoopsAreHoops.giftsmart.com.
So I appreciate you talking about those pictures because often you think change happens overnight. And the truth of the matter, when you're growing up with disability, you got to learn how to work with your body. You got to figure out how to carry a backpack differently. There's so many things along that journey. So when I see that young picture of Miles and this young man who, yes, is an amazing athlete, it took years to do that. He started in our program, I want to say about 8 or 9 years ago. But there's some more stories coming up. And we wanted to share with you my dear friend, Mary Christie. And Mary is an amazing CFO, and she and I work very well together. And I want to do a little kudos because, yes, Mary can run the money, she can run her house, she's the ball bag girl, she's a videographer, the setter-upper, and we've had a lot of fun putting this thing together. But there's a very special person, and Mary and I met almost 12, 13 years ago in a whole different state, and we ended up meeting and being a partner, and her son William was a part of our program. So Mary, I think there's a very special person we'd like you to introduce.
Yes, and thank you. Thank you. I wanted to share a little bit of our story. As parents, the moment that you hear that your child has a disability, of course, in our situation with our William, it was cerebral palsy, CP. You don't forget that moment. And I asked the doctor, what does that mean? Will I be able to communicate with my son? That was, for me, the most important thing that I wanted to know for me. And he said yes, but he could be a doctor, Mary, but he's not going to be a professional ball player. And my immediate thought, of course, went to my son. And you always think about the son playing with the father, and my husband is an avid athlete. So I was concerned about how to tell my husband what his response would be, although I knew we have a lot of faith. I knew that everything would be okay, but I was worried about that, and I was alone when I was told. So I hope you'll enjoy this video, and you'll see how he responded and what that relationship is.
we just moved to Memphis from Chicago. You know, she said, I have something to tell you. You know, William, it's William, and he's got CP. And I said, that's it? You know, we can deal with that. You know, that's not a problem. You know.
I remember when I was younger, I want to say about the 3rd or 4th grade, he would say, like, you know, don't lose heart, don't quit, strong, straight. He was very much building a strong character within me.
He can do this. You know, I was hoping that something in that, you know, do it yourself. You can do it, you know.
Everything that I am going through in my life, I am the author of, in a sense. So every decision that I make affects where I am today. Before basketball came into my life, I wasn't really a hard worker. After basketball, I learned the value of hard work on the court, but off the court. By accepting that ownership, I can say, okay, this is what happened, but it's not going to define me. It's not going to make me bitter. It's not going to make me angry. It's not going to make me sad or suicidal. I want to grow from this. I want to try to rise above this and see what I can do. I went from having like a C average in like my classes to like I was like an A and B student in high school. Graduated summa cum laude. I was a member of the Alpha Chi and the Sigma Tau Delta National Honor Society. And now I got my master's in English, and I am a writing and speaking and reading tutor at NC State.
Well, I knew he could accomplish many things. That wasn't even a consideration. So I questioned myself. But then then the thought came to me, okay, I'm okay with it, but is he going to be okay with it? And this guy has handled this thing like it's nothing. It's light affliction. You know, he has done it in a natural way. It's not something manufactured or pretending that he's okay. He is totally okay. Yeah, I'm super proud of him. He overcomes everything effortlessly. You know, and it appears that way, but there's perhaps a struggle going on, but he manages it like it's nothing. So I'm super proud.
That is a touching video. I've watched it many times, but it still gets me at the heart because it is a video of celebration where a father and a son found out how to work together even though one is in a chair, and it shows that just because you have a disability doesn't mean you don't want to be athletic or competitive. I just love that video. I know, Mary, you are a proud mama.
I sure am, and I'm a proud wife too, because that hope and acceptance really meant a lot to me. You know, Paul's always been my best friend, and so he's, as I've shared with you many times, he's my rock, and he really did carry me through that transition. And I wanted to share too that it's really through adaptive sports that their relationship, their bond became stronger. So it was an enhancement. It's not to say that they didn't have a strong bond, they did, but through the adaptive sports, it allowed them to talk about sports now. It allowed them to have different types of communication, and I saw a very competitive spirit coming out in each of them. And I remember I would be cooking and I would watch outside the window, and all I would hear is swoosh, 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 swoosh. And I never thought, really, you know, at that moment when they told me my son has CP, I didn't think that would ever happen. And so when I saw it happening, I really knew that this relationship would be even stronger. And so the competition is really what is key here. And so I hope you enjoy this next video of them doing the 1 minute free throw challenge, Paul and William.
I am Morgan.
I'm Father Paul Christie.
And this is my
virtual madness 1 minute challenge.
He's heating up. He's heating up. He's heating up. He's on fire. He's heating up. He's heating up.
Obviously, that was William and Father Paul, and William did take it. However, none of that happens without you, Mary. You are quite the ball handler. Great job.
In both videos too. So
I know.
and we had such a great time. I'll tell you that one time the ball almost hit the camera person, so we had to whisk that out of the way. I started laughing. One time the ball hit me in the head, but that was even a bonding experience for all of us. And Gabriella, our William's twin sister, was running around getting the ball. She was sweating more than we were. So again, great experience, and very, very happy that William won. So for all of you that thought William would, you were right. So next I wanted to introduce our board members. That was the next one up. We get the privilege, every day to work with a fantastic board. And Bill Marty and John Flynt stepped up to the challenge to do the 1 minute free throw. And I went out and brought the balls, the basketballs and the cart, and Paul helped me. And
So you and Father Paul were on it, weren't you?
We sure were.
Yes.
We were like, we're going to get this done, and we had a great day filming this next challenge. So Bill Marty and John Flynt.
My name is Bill Marty.
My name is John Flynt, and this is my Virtual Madness 1 minute challenge. Heating up. He's on fire. Heating up. Heating up. He's on fire.
Congratulations to John Flynt as he got 9 buckets. Bill Marty only with 8, but thank you for playing. Way to participate, both of you. Let's just remind you, please, everybody, take a moment, get out that smartphone, text HoopsAreHoops to 76278. Then we'll get you a link. It'll be super easy for you to support this great practice and this great, unbelievable. I'm moved because I just want all these people to keep doing this. Help support Bridge to Sports, or if you don't have your smartphone, go to your laptop, hoopsarehoops.givesmart.com. hoopsarehoops.givesmart.com.
Thanks, James.
Okay.
But you know what? We're sitting here watching the videos with you. So even though we've watched them, every time I see them, I am touched. And with the board members getting involved and trying to play differently, I just want to say to everyone, you can do it too. At this time of COVID, when the world is upside down, I do think one of the things I've gained is seeing other perspectives. And I think that's probably what we need to be looking at is how do we do things differently, and valuing the strengths that we learn through it. So we do still have another big 1-minute competition coming out. Mary, you want to introduce our next one?
I sure do. So our good friends at RTI and their Valor group, they decided to join in on the challenge, and they selected their shooter to be Tim Morgan. And so we needed somebody to go up against Tim Morgan, so we asked our dear friend Costa Panagos to join, and they are both highly competitive. Both had their little children with them, which was precious, and really gave us an exceptional challenge. So let's watch the Tim Morgan versus Costa Panagos challenge.
My name is Costa Panagos.
I'm Tim Morgan.
This is my virtual Madness 1-minute challenge.
Cheating up! Cheating up! Cheating up! Cheating up!
Time.
What happened there? Very lucky with that competition. But they were scoring 11 points. That's pretty awesome. So I do want to challenge folks. If you think it's could be pretty easy, get out there and try it. We'll appreciate every bucket. These brave people went out and sitting in a chair shot. So thank you guys for being part of that. And again, why are we doing it? We want to show the abilities everyone has. And you can see I'm in a wheelchair. And it doesn't mean there are things I can and don't want to do. And there are sports I cannot or will not play. As I said, I was a competitive kayaker. And at 48, being 4th in the world, I was very proud of that. So it's never too late. So if there's people out there thinking, I want to play, come on, you can join us. But I want to share something, another story. Again, this is corporate night, and there's been a lot of discussion on how do we develop our young people to be folks who enter the workplace and can handle responsibility and can complete tasks and follow through. And Akeem is a young man who is now Coach Akeem, but when he first started in our program 15 years ago, I was coaching at the time, and I felt like I was more the priest because there was confession every practice to the practices that were going on at school because he was bullied. A lot of things many of our youth do go through in school, and he wanted to be a part, and people didn't see his abilities. And so when I look at Akeem, I think of 15 years of character and growing and learning skills and how to communicate, how to follow through, how to encourage the next group. And Akeem embodies all of those things that I think make him an amazing coach. So please, I have the honor and privilege of introducing Coach Akeem.
I started thinking about the journey of a person with a disability. I want them to have, integrity. I want them to have determination, and I want them to be empowered by each other. And I want them to know that through this journey, we need to persevere. We need to be resilient because having a disability, I like to call it the wall. Occasionally, I run into the wall. It's where, you're very, very confident, and then somehow or another, maybe something with your disability you may get sick, you may get a UTI, you may have this problem, and then you run into that wall. So that's why I decided I wanted the team to be called the Pride. I wanted us to have like a unity type vibe, together. And if I run into the wall, I go, Miles, looked up to me. Right now I have Bryson looking at me. I have Henry looking at me. I have Jillian looking at me. So I'm very careful of the things that I do. Like if I get really down, I'll be like, sometimes I just want to quit. And I go, you know what? If I gave up, how would that make one of my kids feel? You know? Then they'll be like, okay, coach quit, maybe I can quit. And I'm like, I cannot allow that. But I think about all those kids, because it's a song that goes, how do you want to be remembered? Think about the steps you take. So I think about every push that I take and everything that I do because I want it to reflect, you know, me to be reflected in a good manner because I have so many people looking at me. And like I tell people, my legacy, I don't care if I have money, fame, or anything. I want to be the old dude with the locks flowing, clapping in the background, Ashlyn, Jillian, or whoever at the university or wherever going, I know that girl. Like even when Miles shines, I get this wave of emotion because he's shining and I was there to help him do that. I'm not trying to take any credit or anything. I just love the beautiful young man that he's been, and I know the rest of the kids are going to do successful and exceptional things, and I just have to do my part to help him get there. So that's what pride means to me, you know, and I try my best to be the best coach that I can and be the best role model that I can because I care so much about these children.
All right, what did you think?
I love Akeem. What a story. His selfless leadership is something that we all strive to be. It's that servant leadership. He just wants to help others be better. And I'm sure that by doing that, he's going to make himself better. And he's such a role model. I loved how he said, there's no way I can quit. Because if I quit, I'm setting an example for somebody else. And who knows what could happen to that somebody else if they just stay with the program. It's the beauty of sports. Stay at it. Show up every day. You never know what's going to happen. Let's talk about funds, people. You know what, today, we're in the greatest country in the world. Capitalism is alive and well. Here's why I know that. Walmart today posted probably their biggest earnings. They were 79% over last year. So we would like to passionately, politely appeal to anybody who's big time at Walmart, okay? Please help us. Please help Akeem. Please help Miles. Please help William. Please help Ashlyn and Jillian and all these great people who are making massive strides, and let us help them help others. So, text HoopsAreHoops to 76278 or visit hoopsareHoops.givesmart.com. So one thing I've noticed by watching Akeem, I mean, he has grown and blossomed and just exploded personally in his personal development. He's a role model to everybody. What is the typical path for most folks who go through your program? Is that a typical impact?
Absolutely. 95% of our youth go on to college or tech school, which when we track it, you know, that's amazing. The one thing people always ask for, are there hundreds? And my thought is, let's hope that we don't have hundreds of children in our area with disability. And no, we're a niche within a niche. And so over the course of our beginning, we've impacted probably 75 youth that are in college or tech school or has graduated, as William did with a master's and is now teaching. So we've had 15 years of seeing the impact. And I am very proud of the quality because it is teaching how to work with your body. It is teaching how to advocate for what you need at school. And it is teaching how to interact with adults and say, here is what I need. How do you speak to your doctor? So it's all about the life lessons, but that's what sport is. It's life lessons. So we do appreciate your help, but I do want to do a little tease. You guys are holding some amazing balls. And we've got Duke over here. What do you think about that ball?
This is a beautiful autographed basketball by my main man, Coach K,
Yes.
coach of the best college basketball team in the country.
Oh my, here we go.
Number one in your hearts, Coach K. This ball will be available via our auction.
Yes.
Minimum bid is $1,000, and we do have another ball, but this is Coach K's ball.
Yes, that's right. And this is a Go Pack ball signed by Coach Keats. So this will have a minimum bid of $500 as well. So we're going to be auctioning these items on Thursday, and we hope you'll join in the auction.
But there are some beautiful basketballs, and again, showing the support of our universities here in the Triangle, and I'm so grateful for that. So, we also, just another teaser, Thursday is our last night of our fundraiser. We hope you've enjoyed seeing the development and the different people have gotten involved with us. For the corporations who have been our sponsors faithfully over the years, we would ask that you would consider doing another donation, even if it's not a sponsorship due to COVID, not being able to do all that we're doing. We are still doing programs. Currently, we are running 4 programs with a very strict COVID policy. And I think one of the best feedbacks that I got was from one of our volunteers who has CP, but then thought she'd try something new. And she was a little bit uncomfortable back in July when she came out, but when I saw her, she said, I felt safe seeing how you guys are managing everything. And I'm also here to say that during COVID, we are growing. So even though we've not been able to do the events that we've typically done and been out in the community as we typically do, being at the university games, we still do need your support. So corporations, corporate night, if you've got some funding in places that have not been allocated yet, I would like to ask you, would you please consider donating that to our mission so we can keep things going. So we've got what coming up, our final night. It is the NBA, WNBA. Some fun people will be coming up, and the show's going to be designed a little bit differently than what we've done tonight. And I want to kick it off with an amazing MC, Debbie Antonelli.
Debbie Antonelli, she's one of the premier college basketball analysts in the country. I love watching her games because she brings an insight that you just don't get all the time. And she has been gracious enough to make a video for us.
Yes. So let's hear from Debbie. Thank you, Debbie.
Hey, I'm Debbie Antonelli with ESPN. Sports happens to be my job, but I absolutely love to play. And that's why I'm supporting Ashley Thomas and the Bridge to Sports program. This is a program that provides opportunity for all athletes, regardless of physical limitation, to be able to play. I'm a big believer that sports has an incredible unifying power, and this program literally bridges and connects athletes that love to play with the sports that they enjoy the most. I hope you will listen to the stories of these athletes. I hope you will find it inside your heart to be able to contribute. And if you want, just call up Ashley at Bridge to Sports. She'll find a place for you to volunteer or a way for you to get involved. But most importantly, please help provide some resources if you can. Anything that you can donate will help programming and help these athletes continue to find ways to be able to participate, to train, and to compete. Because after all, that's exactly what all athletes want to do. Thank you so much. Enjoy.
Appreciate that. And we do appreciate all the donations. It's so encouraging to us. It lifts our hearts. It gives me hope for the future, for the next Miles, the next Akeem, because it takes years to grow that. And so as we say goodbye and look forward to seeing you on Thursday at 6, I would like to leave you with Ashlyn's story, because we have another group of young people who are coming up through, and we want them to have a better opportunity and to be able to work at the amazing companies here in the Triangle who are very open and hire many people with disabilities, which I'm so proud of. So with no further ado, let's hear from Ashlyn, and we look forward to seeing you on Thursday at 6. Thank you, and good night.
My name's Ashlyn Grace Mills. I am 12 years old. I got put in a wheelchair 3 years ago.
In the middle of July, they came in and said she won't walk again because of the way the hip dislocated. And it was very depressing for her because I don't think she realized how active she was. She was always running and playing and going to people's houses, and all of a sudden that stopped because people were very
judgmental.
I don't know if judgmental, but it scared them. They don't know how to respond.
It just felt like they didn't want to hang out with me just because I was handicapped. Yeah. And I wasn't sure if I thought it was going to be like a week and then I would get out because I would walk again. Yeah. But then days, then weeks, and then months went by, and I didn't have a lot of friends.
Honestly, when we realized that she would no longer walk, I was extremely depressed. And I couldn't see past a brick wall, that there was any hope.
It was really hard on me.
Yeah.
And I hated it so much.
Yeah. The day that Mike and Akeem came up to us at Bridge to Sports, I thought, if I can just have her meet somebody that she can identify with and that she can see her self-worth. And she did more than that.
I remember when we were like heading off, I was very nervous. I kind of didn't want to go. But right when I walked in, I was shocked. There was a bunch of people there, and there was a bunch of chairs too. and then I met a lot of nice people and caring people that understood me.
It's been huge in her life. I saw a child that barely wanted to get out of the bed in the morning, jump up and be ready. And she loved getting in the car on Fridays. I mean, that is the highlight of the week, to drive for that practice.
I wasn't self-conscious about my wheelchair. And I started meeting other people that, because I didn't think anybody would like me if I was in a wheelchair. And then when I got into Bridges to Sports, I tried to find some new friends, and I found a lot of trustworthy friends. I became more active.
When I see her out there, I'm very thankful that there are programs like this one. I see in her that she knows that she can reach whatever goals she sets for herself. That nothing with her cognitive skills are great, and her academic abilities are limitless. And a chair is not going to limit where she can go. You have to fight.
I feel normal again. I feel like I can do anything that I couldn't do before I was in a wheelchair. Don't be afraid.
Yeah.